If you're looking for an easy yet elegant recipe for the holidays or a special occasion, this Lobster Newburg is just for you. It is restaurant quality and so simple to make. Let's get started. Hey everybody, I'm Kelly with Suburban Soapbox, and today we are making this super simple Lobster Newburg. I know it sounds fancy, but it is so easy to make, you're not even going to believe it. So to get started, you're going to need the following ingredients. Lobster, obviously, and you can use fresh or frozen lobster. For this recipe, to make it quick and simple, I like to use a frozen lobster. You can find this in your grocer's seafood department or in the freezer area of your grocery store. And it's pre-packaged, it's shelled, it's all ready to go. All you have to do is thaw it. It's like super easy. You're also going to need half and half or heavy cream, butter, salt, flour, 5 egg yolks, nutmeg, cognac, lemon, and then these little puff pastry shells. Classic Lobster Newburg is actually served with toast points, but you can make this look extra special with these little puff pastry shells, or you can just cut puff pastry into squares and bake it off into square shapes and just stack it that way. I love these shells. They come apart easily. There's like a little lid. We'll pull that out, just like that, and you just fill that shell and put that on the top. It just makes it look really nice. The presentation is like gorgeous. So we're going to start with our butter. We have a hot pan here. We're going to add the butter to the pan. And we just want to melt this butter. So we'll get that going. And we have this over like medium-high heat. And you just want to get that butter all melted. Next, we're going to add the flour. So you just want to sprinkle your flour in. And this is going to create a roux. A roux is just like a thickening agent. It's used in a lot of soups and stews to thicken. So we're just gonna whisk that in. This will take about 2 to 3 minutes for it to start to turn golden brown. You can kind of see like it's starting to turn like a golden color over here. Okay, now that it's getting the golden brown color and you can really smell that nuttiness coming through, you want to be careful because at this point it will start to turn on you quickly. So we want to add our half and half to the pan, and you want to whisk that in slowly. Continue whisking as you're pouring it in. This will make sure you don't have any lumps. And at this point, you want to turn your heat down just a little bit because you don't want to bring that cream or the half and half to a boil. Just kind of want to let it simmer and warm through. And this is the base for your sauce. Lobster Newburg is a lobster dish that was created by a fisherman and given to the Delmonico Hotel in New York City. And it was just a basic cream sauce with cognac and lobster, and it was served with the toast points. And it's been on their menu ever since. So it's super easy to make at home. As you can see, the sauce is already starting to thicken. And this is where you want to turn your heat all the way down to low. And keep whisking. You don't want to ever stop whisking until it starts to get to that thick, saucy consistency. You want it a little looser than a gravy. And we're going to add just a couple tablespoons of this sauce into our egg yolks, and this is going to temper your egg yolks. The reason you want to do this is so that you're not scrambling your eggs and then you have like a scrambled egg sauce. So you want to temper your egg yolks, get them kind of cooking a little bit. They'll become like thick and creamy, and then we're going to slowly add them back to the sauce. So we're just going to take a few spoonfuls and put that into the bowl with our egg. And then to get that started, I'm just gonna whisk it right here. Try not to make big mess like I'm doing right here. Okay. And we're gonna add a few more teaspoons to the egg. And then whisk again. And this is very much like when you make an ice cream base, you have to temper the eggs also. Eggs are a great thickening agent, and the egg yolks themselves create like a really great richness in this sauce. So definitely don't skip this part. All right, so now we're gonna add our eggs back to the sauce. Just give it a little stir real quick. And slowly whisk that in. You can see it's taking on this beautiful yellow color. I'm gonna add a little bit more of our egg. I'm gonna turn my heat all the way down. And you don't even have to worry about like raw eggs. So the eggs are actually cooking in this sauce. A lot of people are like, you're not cooking it long enough, but that's not the case here. It totally cooks the eggs. It's very safe to eat. So I'm gonna take this off the heat and we're gonna add in our other ingredients. So just put this here. I just don't wanna overcook it and then you are scrambling your eggs again in that sauce, but it's getting really thick. So to that, we're going to add our cognac. Cognac is a type of brandy and it originates in Cognac, France. So if you don't have cognac, you can use brandy or bourbon. So we're just gonna add a little bit and whisk that in. And that's gonna loosen up the sauce just a bit. So if you felt like it was too tight, this will totally fix that. Just a little bit more. And then we're gonna add a pinch of nutmeg and whisk that in. And then we're gonna add the zest and juice of 1 lemon. So, if your lemon's cold, you might wanna pop it in the microwave for about 10 seconds. That'll loosen it up. It'll definitely be easier to squeeze. And we're gonna return this to the heat just for a few minutes. So at this point, we're going to fold in our lobster. And you wanna make sure that if your lobster was frozen or you cooked it yourself, you wanna make sure that it's not too watery because that water is going to leach into the sauce and make it really runny. So I just like to add all of my lobster to the sauce. So if your lobster is chilled or room temperature, the sauce will heat the lobster. So you just wanna kind of cook it till it's warm through. You don't wanna cook the lobster again because obviously it's been cooked and you don't want it to be tough. So we're just gonna spread that out in the sauce for now and kind of let it warm through. So to finish up your Lobster Newburg, we're just gonna season with a little bit of salt and some fresh cracked pepper and stir that together. Just make sure again, like your lobster's heated through. I mean, it doesn't hurt to taste a piece if you wanna make sure it's heated enough for your guests. And now we're going to plate it. So to plate your Lobster Newburg, we're just gonna take one of these little puff pastry shells and I took the stuff, the little lid out. So we're just going to fill your puff pastry with some lobster and the sauce and maybe another piece of lobster and maybe another piece of lobster. Just fill these babies up and then make sure you drizzle some of that sauce down the side. It's really very heavenly. And we're just gonna take the top and plop that right on there. And then I just like to put some snip chives on top. And you have this beautiful Lobster Newburg, which was so simple to make. This makes an awesome entree with maybe a side of green beans or something, or you can serve it as a first course if you're having like a lighter meal. And I'm going to take a bite. Get a little of that puff pastry and a little bit of the lobster. Make like the perfect bite here. with that sauce. Nice big bite. This is simply amazing. The sauce is creamy but light. You can taste that little bit of lemon in it and a little hit of the cognac. It is simply amazing. And the brininess of the lobster is just fabulous. I urge you to use the puff pastry shells. You certainly can use toast points, but this just makes it look so much better. And the butteriness of the puff pastry is like out of this world. If you like this video, please be sure to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. For more easy recipes, visit thesuburbansoapbox.com. Thanks again.